Welcome back, strangers. It's been a minute, that's for sure. It's been actually 3 whole weeks since Ironman World Champs. And I've actually been very busy, but nothing related to triathlon. I do have to apologise again for a massive delay on this video. But there has been a lot of life stuff going on in the background the last few months, and I finally feel like I'm making some progress, hence being in the new house, which I moved into a few weeks before World Champs, and it has just been a bit wild getting things sorted. I'll give you a quick squiz around, a little fireplace over here, which is lovely. I've been doing a lot of decorating, so lots of paint pots. This kitchen was pretty dark, pretty dreary, so I painted the whole thing, and I realised I don't like painting. So that's cool. Different knobs. Oi. Yep. It's still pretty basic. I don't have much in here yet, and upstairs there's obviously some bedrooms. Outside we've got some fencing over there, which has gone in, which is cool, and then I will be building. Actually, I won't be doing it. Someone else will be building a nice training room for me in the garden, which is going in next week. So, as of now, I am fully moved into the new house. I am recovered from World Champs, recovered from the season, because I feel like I mentally and physically was just a bit broken the last few months, just with the house stuff going on. There's also been some other stuff going on in the background, which I don't think is necessary to talk about on here, just like some personal things going on. It's all been a bit stressful, but we're getting there, and I felt like I needed that time off to just really get things going with the house. So hence why I've been a little bit, let's bump that up a little bit, hence why I've been a little bit absent from everything. But I do think it is good to have time away from everything. The YouTube channel, training. I've done no training in 3 weeks. I mean, I did a ride with BW, and that was it. And so tomorrow, maybe I'll get back in the pool. That's not going to be enjoyable, but I think having this time off has been really useful. Now, let's talk about World Champs, because I haven't talked about it at all. We obviously know that the last 2 races that I did, the T100s, didn't go well. They weren't good results. Since Ironman Leeds, I got greedy, obviously, you get an opportunity to race T100, and you're like, well, why would I not do it? I can't say no. I need to do it. But it was quite a lot. And essentially, I kind of peaked my fitness in Swansea, and everything was slightly coming down. I raced Leeds at still a good fitness, slightly undercooked, but still good fitness. And then I was just getting more and more unfit because I wasn't managing to get the training in, because every other week or so I was racing. So it's like you're recovering, you're tapering, you're whatever. And so going into the T100s, I was hopeful that I could potentially do well, but it wasn't going well. It wasn't going well at all. And then World Champs had that back niggle, had that back injury, and it was just more go and do it for the experience. I qualified for it like 8 weeks out. That is nowhere near enough time to fully prep for a World Champs, especially when you've got 2 other T100 races in between. So I knew I was going in not showing my best ability, and that's what I showed on the day. But it was a great experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm very glad that I raced. If you asked me a week before the race, I probably would have said, actually, I'm not very keen on racing, but I'm very glad that I did it, even coming stone dead last. But someone's got to come last, haven't they? Onwards and upwards. It can only get better from here. But there were plenty of people that DNF'd because they were having bad days. I was having a bad day. I just decided to not DNF. And now, obviously, there is a complete spectrum of, what happens to certain people. And at some point, there is definitely a point where it's like, actually, it's sensible to DNF. I was just having a crappy day, and I felt rubbish, and my back injury came back to bite me, and I was not fit at all, and whatever. I was just having a rubbish day, and so I was like, well, it is what it is. I'm just going to keep going. Whereas obviously other people have, more serious issues, I guess. But I didn't DNF, and I am proud of that. But it was an incredible experience, and the swim was really cool, actually. I mean, I didn't lead out the swim by any means. I didn't get in the front pack, whatever. So there's still improvements to be made, but I felt like I had a good swim. I felt like I swam pretty consistently, pretty well. Normally not amazing in non-wetsuit, but it felt pretty decent. I did come up with Sam Laidlow, but you have to caveat that with the fact that he stopped in the water because I think he had cramp in his back or something like that. I don't know if it was his back. He basically stopped, and that's how I caught up with him. He wasn't swimming that quickly then. So I'm going to try and find a photo of me exiting the water with him and be like, yeah, I beat Laidlow out of the water. And then he came past me on the bike and never saw him again. And then, yeah, onto the bike. It was... These guys just ride crazy hard, man. Like, it is... I think people assume Ironman is pretty tame. You just hold a lower level of effort and it's just a longer day. And it is not. Like, that hour climb, and just to get to the bottom of the main climb, you've already done quite a while of quite a bit of climbing. Like, it's not flat by any means. So I probably hit the bottom of the climb with a normalized power of 330, something like that, 335. And then up the climb, I probably held 340, 345 for an hour, and I got dropped by pretty much everyone. I was riding with Bakkegaard. He actually was holding a very good pace. He definitely kind of disappeared a little bit into the distance. Bradley Weiss came past like an absolute rocket. Obviously Sam Long, Leon came past like an absolute steam train. Guys were just riding so quick. I was like, oh my god, this is an Ironman, and I feel like I'm riding pretty solid here. And everyone, literally everyone is coming past. Even bloody Joe Skipper. What's that all about? And then as I got over the top, I was like, right, now's the time to sit in position, get aero, and push the pedals a little bit. And I could feel myself wanting to try and chase, and that's what I was trying to do, is ride quick, ride hard, over the top. But I wasn't really reeling many people in. There was a few people that got dropped from the group in front, but ultimately I was just on the front then, trying to absolutely hammer it. We probably had 6 to 8 guys behind me, and it's one of those decisions that you make. It's like, do I sit in the group and not know how things are going to go? Because if you sit in the group, you're just basically admitting defeat at that point. It's like, and in some sense, sometimes you do need to do it. But I didn't want to just sit in the group and soft pedal and allow people to get away from me when I know that I've got nothing to lose at this World Champs. I've got everything to gain. And I felt actually fairly strong on the bike. So I was like, I'm just going to sit on the front and ride as hard as I possibly can. If people come through and work with me, fantastic. If they don't, fine. But I'm going to treat this as an individual time trial. And if I bring them along with me, so be it. And at that point, I was confident that I was like, well, I feel like I can have good run legs. I can run a 2:45 is what I was sort of aiming for. I feel like I can be competitive. And there were guys, no one really came through, and I worked on the front, and I was really working quite hard, which I was very happy to do, because ultimately it is a race, and maybe this is where I sometimes go wrong a little bit, and I chat with Leon about this, because he's very much the same. He's like, you want to just ride as hard as you can all the time and be on the front and not be in a group and get involved with the tactics of the race, but actually sometimes that's a detriment to your then overall result. Whereas if you're someone who's a bit more tactical, plays your cards correctly and surfs the wheels a little bit, maybe you'd get onto the run a bit fresher and you'd feel a bit better and you'd have a better overall result. But it's something in my head, and I know other people have it, where it's like you just have to go hard all the time and you have to be on the front and you have to be forcing it. And if you're sat in the wheels, surfing the wheels, it's like a waste, or people are just getting away from you, or so it's maybe not the right mindset I had, but I was like, sod it, I'm going. And my back was screaming at me. It hurt so much, but yeah, it wasn't the best. But I did finish before the last descent. I mean, the last descent goes on forever. At probably at 300 and I think it was 316 normalized. So I wasn't pushing slow. I wasn't pushing easy, and guys were just better than me. That's ultimately it. Guys were just better than me. My descending wasn't brilliant on the day. That needs work. Definitely quite a technical descent. If you don't really know the corners, it wasn't brilliant. And also at that point, I was pretty ball bagged, so that wasn't fantastic. So yeah, descending wasn't fantastic for me. And then onto the run. Yeah, I was confident that I could get back into it, but then slowly my stomach just got a lot worse. I just felt terrible. It was rubbish. Like I had probably the worst run of my life. So it was then more about experiencing the other athletes and the incredible, obviously the Norwegians. To be there on that day on the course while they did that was epic. To be there on the same day as someone like Leon, who obviously he didn't have the day that he wanted, but it was really obviously cool to share the course with him again. And just be on the course with these amazing people, and the support was fantastic. And having, the companies that support me out there and supporting me, and friends and family and everyone, like it was such a cool experience. I was like, I could just walk the marathon and, I'd still be happy. So, to be honest, the last few kilometers was kind of a walk. I think I scrammed off a whole watermelon in the last aid station. It's like, I'm getting my money's worth on this one. But yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience that has reminded me I need to think about how I structure my race season and try and not get too greedy with racing. And also how I go into races and how I prepare for races and my mindset during the race. So it's definitely given me a lot of homework to go back on and work on. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because I still feel like there's plenty more improvements for me to make. And with all of this stuff going on in the background, my mind was just scrambled and my mind just wasn't ready to race, I don't think. No, it definitely wasn't. And it's taken me 3 weeks to actually get to a point where I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit more settled. I've still got a million things going on, but I feel a bit more settled and I feel like I can crack on. And I'm hoping that over the winter, this gives me a really solid base for me to get some incredible training done, so that next year, I've got a house now, which is amazing, and I'm so happy about that, and it's incredible. And so this is a big life stress that's happened, but now it's starting to be in the rearview mirror, so I can go forward and really crack on and think about my career, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, I will be doing more and more videos going forward. I know I keep saying that, but now this is done. I promise I will be doing that. And yeah, just thanks so much to everyone for all the support on social media, all the support in person, sponsors, family, friends, everyone. Thank you so much. We're making moves. We're just at the beginning. So I'll see you in the next one.